Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage
Welcome,
truck.
everyone, to the Halloween edition of Wisecast. I, of course, am your host, Aaron Wise, alongside Caleb James Peeler.
That is
How you
me.
doing, CJP?
I'm doing pretty good. I forgot that the time change happened this morning and woke up an hour early, which kind of turned out nice because I like to have a nice slow morning before I have to do things. But it was also like I could have slept for an extra hour. So it's a give and take.
Yeah, I ended up waking up at like 10 till 8, which I guess old time would be 10 till 9. So I slept like a rock, you know? Yeah, I was KO'd.
Feel.
And
I slept
I've never, you what? Sorry.
I slept pretty hard last night too. I watched
I've never
Parasite.
understood. Ooh, I need to watch that still.
Watched Parasite. I also was drinking lots of cider last night, and so I was nice, feeling nice and warm, and I went to bed.
Happy Halloween, am I right?
Yeah, happy Halloween. So
I was gonna say I don't understand KO'd because it should be K'd O'd or K'd O because it's knocked out, but you're not knockouted.
the KO sound rolls off the tongue better.
It does, but just strictly speaking, should be K'd O.
Yeah.
But this isn't Grammarcast. This is our monthly top 10 episode where each and every month that's right, you, the listener, can be a part of the show by suggesting a top 10 list for us to create. This month, we pulled Instagram for our list, and top 10 desert island games won. Pew, pew, pew. If you want to be a part of the show, go to patreon.com/wisecast and throw some change our way. It only takes $1 a month to become a producer on Wisecast, just like Chronoslinger. The other way you can be a part of the show is to go to www.wisecast.com/your-wrong, and you can tell us when we're wrong. Probably don't correct us on the list episode because they're very subjective, and there's nothing wrong about being subjective. This week we are sponsored by morelife.co, but more on that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the top 10 countdown. Take it away, CJP.
Okay, so this is my list is in no particular order. So one of the first games I remember playing as a kid was my brother came home with a PlayStation 1, and he bought one of the stipulations for my parents for him to buy a PlayStation was he had to buy a game that I would like too, not just like some game that only he would want. And so he saw this game with a small purple dragon on it. Like, this is perfect for my brother Caleb. And so he bought Spyro 2 of Those Rage for me. And I played the heck out of that game growing up. I played a lot of the Spyro games as a kid. Very nostalgic, very games. And so 2 years ago, when they remade the original trilogy, that was big news for me. And so, because the Spyro games were so nostalgic for me, and just I think also like they even like they're above nostalgia because they're actually like good games. Um, so I'm gonna put the Spyro Reignite trilogy on there because it's 3 games, lots of content to play through, and it's just a fun like not too typical game, and just kind of turn off a little bit and just be a little purple dragon. That is my first pick.
Yeah, I really love the Spyro games too. My brother also bought a PlayStation 1. There was no stipulation for him getting a PlayStation 1,
Hmm.
but he got I think at least got the first Spyro. And then he got the Crash games. And I remember really loving Spyro. It was a lot of fun. There's not enough mascot platformers anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, pretty much all we have nowadays is like Mario. Well, that's a lie. I guess Crash 4 just came out. Um, Speaking of Crash 4, this it's not on, Crash isn't on my list. Spoilers, but I have hopes that because they made a new Crash game, they'll make a new Spyro game. You know, I mean,
I
it's
would.
not been talked
I
about.
would love that. The only thing is, I know Crash is a PlayStation only, isn't it? Am I wrong about
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
no, you're
So I
not wrong.
don't.
Uh, well, it's not anymore.
Okay.
It was. So was Spyro.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was gonna say about like the mascot platformers. That was a genre that
Mhm.
was like on fire, like all through the PlayStation One, the PlayStation Two generations, and
Yeah,
like it just like people start going to multiplayer shooters and it just kind of died out. Which I think is very sad. Like I know a few years ago, Rare came out with Ukulele, which I was like very excited about, and then I never bought or played. But like
it's
I
on
really
Game
want.
Pass.
Oh, guess I'll download tonight. Because I was like, I do enjoy those games because they're like simple and you can like they're
Mhm,
not too stressful. You can just enjoy them.
mhm.
But man, like I really want ukulele to like be a massive hit, and it did well, but I don't think it was the hit that like it wasn't gonna bring back mascot platformers by itself.
Well, Crash 4 is a massive hit. It's reviewed well. It's sold well, from what I understand. So maybe, um, maybe they're on their way back. My list is also in no particular order. Um, but the first game I'm going to tell you guys about is Metroid Prime. One of the first games for GameCube. When Metroid Prime was released, it was a very strong departure for the Metroid series. Um, Metroid, of course, kind of invented its own genre of platforming. It's part of the Metroidvania genre of platforming. And that just essentially means it's like kind of open world. You just like explore the 2D platforming realm, and you have to like keep going back to different areas and discovering new things. Um, but Metroid Prime was first person, and it was awesome. I mean, it's essentially like Legend of Zelda, but in space. And for those that know me, Legend of Zelda is my favorite series of all time. Metroid Prime had a compelling story. It spawned two great sequels, which, incidentally, I have the trilogy twice. Um, I have the first and second game on GameCube, and then the third game on Wii. And then they came out with a Metroid Prime collection for Wii that I also have. Um, I need to replay those, but Nintendo, on the very, 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 very off chance that you're listening to this, please port the Metroid Prime trilogy to Switch. That's all I want. Like, I know Metroid Prime 4 is a while away, but just make an HD port for the Metroid Prime trilogy on Switch. It would be incredible. Um, you'd have my loyalty forever, even though you'd have my loyalty forever, and I'm not going to tell you that you already have it, but you'd for sure have it if you did this. Caleb, have you played the Metroid games at all?
I haven't. I have very fond memories of GameCube growing up. I never owned one, so all my GameCube games I played a lot were multiplayer games like Kirby Air Ride, Sticks Out, Smash, and like Double Dash. Um, yeah, I remember seeing Metroid and being very interested in it because it was like space. I thought that was very cool, and I still like. I want to play the games, and I'm surprised that they haven't made. I mean, they haven't made a Metroid game in 2 console generations. Is that right?
Um, Metroid Other M came out for Wii, and then there was a Metroid game that on 3DS whose name escapes me, but I heard it was really good. But it's been a while. I don't know if it's been 2 generations, but yeah, it's been a while.
So I don't know. I think I would love to play Metroid games. They look cool, and I've really only gotten to Zelda with Breath of the Wild. But I mean, if they're anything like Zelda, like you say, I'm sure I'd love them. So
You know what we need to do sometime?
hmm.
We should find a day that we both have off and play through Metroid Prime 1.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
And I know it's rare to find a day that we both have off because our schedules are weird, but
Yeah,
it'd
we'll
be
figure it
fun.
out. Where there's a will, there's a
Let's
way.
move on to the next. Move on to the next pick. What's your next pick for the Desert Island games?
So this next pick is one of my all-time favorite games, and it is The Witcher 3. Um, yeah, shocking, right? I've not played Witcher 1 or 2, but I did play Witcher 3 because there's so much hype about it, and just great storytelling, um, great gameplay, really, I think, too. Um, and they just, it's amazing how large that game is, and especially even like once you add on DLC, because the Blood and Wine expansion is like basically like The Witcher 3.5, because it's like it continues the story of Witcher 3 in a really cool way. And I don't know. We're on a desert island, which somehow has electricity to power all these game systems that we have to
Yeah,
have.
folks, suspend your disbelief.
Um, so we're gonna have a lot of time to kill, and you know, I think my playthrough of Witcher 3 is at 120 hours, so that's quite a bit of time to kill. So, have you played Witcher, Aaron?
I have not. I've been told that I need to. I kind of burnt myself out on action RPGs a while ago. And every time I go back to an action RPG, if it's not different enough from the if it's not different enough from like Skyrim or Far Cry, I like I play for a few hours and then just kind of quit. Um, but that's strictly because I played so much of those games. I feel like The Witcher is different enough. I just haven't given it a shot, and I'm actually installing it to my Xbox right now. I love the Game Pass app because you can just do it from your phone. Um,
Game Pass is amazing.
Yeah, so I'm doing that right now. I've been told by many people that I need to play this game. Um, you know, hopefully I'll have enough time to play this game and enjoy it enough to where maybe I'll be actually more interested in Cyberpunk than I already am. I'm pretty interested in it, but um, it's one of those like huge open world games that I don't know if I want to dedicate the time to. I don't know if I've told you this, Caleb, but I'm pretty into Minecraft right now. Um, Me and Hargrove and Jacob and Nathan started a realm, um, and we've been playing the crap out of it, and it's so fun. It's some of the most fun I've had.
I need to hop on that when y'all playing.
Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. I mean, the more people we have in it, the cheaper it is.
Hmm.
We can have up to 10 people, and it's it's $7.99 a month. So if we're only paying 80 cents each, you know,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. And you can play literally on anything. Well, I don't think you could play on your Mac unless you were running boot camp. Um, but you could play on your Switch or your Xbox. But Minecraft's on Game Pass on Xbox, so why wouldn't you do that?
I do. I will say like Witcher 3 is like definitely a commitment, and I think what's cool about it is a lot of times if I don't play a game for a week or two, I would just like stop playing it altogether, and it's hard for me to pick it back up. But I would play a lot of The Witcher and then put it down for several months, and then pick it back up again. And it was still like every time I pick it back up, it was like still as exciting. I think because they just have such great quest writing
Hmm.
and great characters in it. So, but it is like it's a chunky game, but it's one that like if you invest in it, I think it's very rewarding.
Um, Speaking of Minecraft, that's actually my next pick. Um, the Shoot, sorry, I'm starting to send something. There we go. The openness of Minecraft is just incredible, and I think in a desert island situation, I'd be more inclined to play on creative mode than survival mode, or maybe go back and forth between the two. Um, because part of my love for Minecraft comes with playing with people. And one of the things that I was telling you was like no online games. However, um, at least with Minecraft for PC, in theory, we could connect, we could hardwire connect, we could do a LAN, old school LAN, and play. So it wouldn't technically be online. Technicalities. Um, but Minecraft is just, I mean, you can lose hours to it. Like, um, the semester before you came to Point, Caleb, was the last time that I was super into Minecraft. Me, Dylan Moore, Jacob, and do you remember Tim Allen? You might not, but um,
Yeah, I remember Tim
we
vaguely.
we all stayed up really late, like multiple weekends in a row playing Minecraft, and one of them was actually a Sunday night. We stayed up all night playing Minecraft, and I had an 8 a.m. final the next day. Um, Worth it, very worth it. It was awesome. And the thing is, I sucked at Minecraft back then, and I'm just now like figuring out like machines and like higher level building. Before Dylan and Tim were doing like all the heavy lifting. Like I'm about to make uh, a chicken farm where the eggs are like you can collect eggs under the chicken coop. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I am weird because I I have this like thing where if a game is or anything if anything is like super popular and everyone's like talking about it, it makes me less inclined to want to like be a part of that.
Hmm.
And similar thing was with Minecraft. When I first got going, it got so big, and I was kind of like, oh, it's like a game for kids.
Hmm.
Um, which so I haven't really played a lot of it. I have played like a little bit of it over the years, but like just reading what the game's about, like I if I got invested into it, I would like fall in love with it. I just haven't yet because I want to be pretentious or whatever. So
I mean the way I describe it to people is it's essentially virtual Legos.
which I do love Legos.
Yeah, and I mean on PC, actually I think on Xbox now as well. I don't know about Switch, but like the worlds are endless.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean it's so fun, and I will say it is more fun cooperatively. So since we're just suspending disbelief, I'm bringing an Ethernet cable. We can link up. We'll play Minecraft. Let's go to your next pick.
Nice. Um, so my next game is a very simple, basic one, but I think one like you got once you're done foraging for food and water for the day, you just got to turn off and um, just let your brain relax some. So I'm choosing my next game is Tetris. I know it's a very broad term, and there's lots of different Tetrises out there, but honestly, just like the rules of Tetris are almost always about the same. And you can play it on like just about anything. So
May I suggest, Caleb Peeler,
yes.
that you choose this version of Tetris for Switch called Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Um, it is very fun, and it brings two classic puzzle games together. And you can like in the game, you can choose to play Puyo Puyo, you can choose to play Tetris, or you can play both at the same time, and you switch off like after like a minute each, and it's so fun. And there's also like a competitive mode, like multiplayer, where you're like trying to like send attacks to each other. So it was like a predecessor to Tetris 99. So good, so fun.
Nice.
Not to like ruin your list or anything, but
No,
just
yeah, it's a good suggestion. So what's your next pick, Aaron?
Super Mario RPG, the one that started it all. Super Mario RPG is the first Mario RPG, and it was a collaboration between Nintendo and Square Enix. Um, and it was, I said, I think it's for sure their first collaboration. It's not their last because Octopath Traveler came out a few years ago for Switch, but Octopath Traveler doesn't use any Nintendo assets. Um, this game is incredible. If you like turn-based RPGs with lots of humor, you'll love this game. If you like the Mario and Luigi series or the Paper Mario series, you'll love this game. Um, it has this great, like, kind of 3D-esque look, but from like a isometric perspective. Um, has great characters. Again, the writing's just solid. There's cameos from other Nintendo properties. Um, it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. It is, to my knowledge, right now, the best way to play it is probably on the SNES Classic. But I would imagine eventually it's coming to the Virtual Console on Switch someday. I mean, they release SNES games so infrequently on Switch, it's hard to say when. But it's really good, and like I said, if you haven't played it, you need to play it. I have a little bit of an issue with the SNES games on Switch for the most part because SNES games, there's a lot of platformers and they require um, precise controls. But the beauty of it being a JRPG is that it doesn't need to be as precise. Um, I mean, like most Mario RPGs, there's like in the fighting, there's this mechanic where you can like press A mid attack and like get a better attack. But I don't think that the input lag would affect it that much. Not like it would for, say Super Mario World. But incredible game. I highly recommend it. You're me, by the way.
Thank you, Aaron. So for my next pick, this is also one of my favorite games ever. Well, it's in a collection, because I'm a cheater and most of my games are collection. And so, if you know anything about me, Borderlands 2 is one of my favorite games ever. I have played an unseemly amount of that game, just going around shooting, looting. I think it's one of the most fun games ever. So my next game is going to be the Handsome Jack collection, which has Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. And to be honest, I probably won't play the pre-sequel that much because it's just okay, I think. But Borderlands 2, I like.
Why don't you get the Borderlands 2 like Game of the Year edition then?
I guess because the pre-sequel, I mean, the Handsome Jack collection has all of the it has all Borderlands 2, all DLC, and also has pre-sequel. So it's like I can just
Fair.
cheat, get two games. So maybe honestly, I probably should just get Borderlands 2 complete edition. But yeah, I love Borderlands. Fun, fun
It's
game
very
too.
fun.
I
Um,
realize I really enjoy the mix of like comedy and like ridiculousness, but also just being able to. It is a game that you can get very deep into and like be technical, but it's also a game that you can like also just kind of turn your brain off and just shoot stuff and have a good time.
mhm. For as much as we've talked about Borderlands throughout the years, Caleb, we've never played it together.
That actually is shocking. Maybe we also we've hardly ever played Xbox together.
That's true.
All of our years, all of our years of friendship.
It's very true. We've
Wow.
we've played video games together, but it's mostly been on Switch and like in
Hmm.
person. And usually when we play games
Yeah.
together, they're, board games or card games. It's kind of our thing.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. I know. I mean, I enjoy multiplayer games now and then, but for the most part, I play video games to kind of like be by myself.
Hmm.
So like I do enjoy playing with people, but I think like 8 times out of 10, I want to play video games as a singular experience. So, but I played Borderlands with Nathan a few times, several times actually. It's a blast.
Um, you should get into Minecraft Dungeons. It's a good old dungeon crawler, and me and Justin Moss are very into it. We haven't played it in a little bit, but it's very fun. Um, Great cooperative game. Um, I'm kind of so I would say like me playing video games is like 50-50. Like I love playing by myself, but I also love playing with people. And when I do play with people, it's like that split into 50-50. No, that's split into like 90-10. 90% of the time I want to be cooperative. 10% of the time I want to be competitive.
I think I prefer cooperative play over like competitive. Like I played a lot of Overwatch. I haven't played Overwatch consistently in like 2 or 3 years, but it also gets frustrating when people on your team are just not playing well. And so it's easier on like co-op when it can still get frustrating in some games. Actually, I just had a cool thought for a game. Um, I'm sure there's a game like this out there, but like Forbidden Island or Forbidden
Hmm.
Sky, but like a video game form.
Um, Pandemic's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about a
uh,
co-op like
no, yeah, I know,
exploration survival
I know
kind of
what you
thing.
mean. Um, Trying to think if Daisy we like that. I want to get into Daisy. Um, it's been out for like 8 years, and I saw one of my favorite YouTubers 8 years ago play it a lot, and it got me really super interested. And there was rumors of it coming out for um, PS3 and Xbox 360,
Hmm.
and then it never did. And then it came out for Xbox One, and it's on Game Pass. And I mean, I've never played it still, but it's one of those games that I'd want to play with friends.
Yeah, I back in my PC days, I played a little bit of it. Also, like I was very excited for Ark survival game
Yep.
dinosaurs, but I think like I like the idea, but also hate. I like the idea of survival, but I also don't like having to worry about like other people coming and like killing you and taking your stuff. I know you can
Yeah,
play
that's
like I know you can play and like just like you don't have to play competitively like that. But I think when I was playing Daisy, that's what my friends wanted to do. I found that like very frustrating. We finally like had a good like build, and then someone come kill us and we had to start over.
hmm moving on with the list though, kind of going back to the mascot platformers genre. My next pick is Banjo Kazooie. Incredible game.
I
Uh,
played. I do love banjo. It's a lot of fun.
it was released, I think, a year or two. I think 2 years after Mario 64. Um, and Mario 64 kind of created the 3D platformer, and a lot of people still say that it's the best 3D platformer, and I disagree. Banjo Kazooie takes it to town, and it's so fun. It's so funny. The music's great. Um, Rare, we need Banjo 3 so bad. And I don't care that it will be on Xbox. I have an Xbox. I'm an Xbox boy. Um, Bring Banjo 3, because we need these characters now more than ever.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that like Rare in like the '90s and early 2000s was like super tight with Nintendo, and like in some ways they were almost like doing like one upping Nintendo with every games. Like I know Super Mario and Donkey Kong Country are very different games, but in a lot of ways like they're both 2D platformers. In some ways, like Rare was doing a better job with 2D platformer than Nintendo was, and then Nintendo comes out with N64. They have one of the first, if not the first, like 3D platformer, and
Hmm.
then they come out with Banjo Kazooie, and arguably like do it almost better. So yeah, Rare, if you listen to this, we need you. We need your return.
What's your next pick, CJP?
Let's see. So your talk about Minecraft actually inspired me. This next pick was gonna be Metal Gear Solid 3, but now it's I'm nixing MGS3, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be Minecraft because like that's the game that can play forever. Especially like on your own, you can play that game forever. But also if we happen to have a Ethernet cable and we can LAN it up on this island, then like we got hours of content, baby. So, because I can't leave you out to dry if you're gonna have Minecraft, then I also gotta have Minecraft. So,
It's so true. It's so true, and we've already talked ad nauseum about Minecraft.
we have. I do love Metal Gear
What's
Solid.
left to be?
I do love Metal Gear Solid 3, but I think it's kind of a short game in the grand scheme of things, and
Hmm.
it is replayable to a point, but it's not a game I'm gonna like replay. Like Minecraft would give me far more joy and like hours of play than Metal Gear Solid 3 would. So
Hmm. My next pick is my favorite Pokemon game, and that is
oh,
Pokemon Soul Silver.
oof, man, that's
Incredible game.
yes. Heart Gold is
I
my
love Pokemon.
game.
Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, this is the remake to Gold and Silver. And if you don't remember Gold and Silver, you could play through the Johto region and the Kanto region. And you can do this in Soul Silver as well, but it's in great, well, pretty decent 3D. Um, again, isometric top-down view. It's so fun. I put so many hours into this game, and then, like an idiot, I sold it. I tend to do that with games that I love. Like I need money for whatever reasons, and I sell games. And I'm so stupid for that. So I'm always on the lookout every time I go to a Goodwill or like a half price books, um, to find a cheap version of it to buy. I had really high hopes last time I went to half price books, Caleb. I saw that they had Pokemon X for $15, and I was like, wow, I've never seen Pokemon X for $15. And then they also, Caleb, had Pokemon Shield, the new one, for $30. And I was like, wow, I almost got it.
That's
I almost
yeah, because I was thinking about buying Shield the other day. That's crazy. I man, I actually considered Heart Gold to be on this list. I love Heart Gold. It's like I think it's my favorite region in all of Pokemon. It has a lot of my favorite Pokemon ever in it. I think they hit the perfect medium of like with their sprites of being like I don't know, like I don't hate like I'm glad like Pokemon is now 3D, but I think there's something very special about like the 3D sprites. I mean, the
Mhm.
2D sprites they use. I think they can express the character of the Pokemon better than the 3D sprites. Because
Mhm.
the 3D, like some Pokemon look weird in 3D because they're not meant to be 3D particularly,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah, I
get like
agree.
in some ways they look more real, but I think that makes them lose a little bit too because it's a Pokemon. Uh,
Mhm.
so I was actually talking to my roommate the other day about Pokemon because we both love Pokemon, and like I would love for them to do another 2D Pokemon game. I
I would
think
too.
the Switch would be an amazing because I think so. A big a lot of Shield and Sword got a lot of flack for not having the full Pokédex. Um, and think like imagine how difficult it would be to animate and design almost 1,000 Pokemon. Like no wonder they don't have all of it. And I think it would be amazing. I doubt they'd ever do this, but like a Pokemon game where you could choose your region you start in and then just like hop around to each region and play through almost every region. Um, I'm just like dreaming, and but I would love to be a 2D Pokemon game. I think that's like almost where Pokemon's supposed to be. I'm just probably saying that because most of the Pokemon I've played is 2D. So
No, I agree. I wasn't a huge fan when they went from let's see, Ruby and Sapphire to Diamond and Pearl. That's like kind of the beginning of like 3D ish. However, I do vastly prefer this art style of Diamond and Pearl and Heart Gold and Soul Silver because they share the same art style to what it has become now. I prefer that.
I think I think like the early DS era of Pokemon had like the best just like style because like
It was
the
the best of
Pokemon.
both.
Yes, I agree because the Pokemon still looked very like they looked like monsters. Like
Hmm.
they were like almost the sprites still had kind of a hand drawn feel to them, and I
Hmm.
think they gave them like a character that is hard to express in the 3D.
Hmm.
So
I agree.
cool.
Um,
Is it
that was.
mine?
Have we both been through five?
Yes. So I think it's mine.
Cool. It is, but before that, let's get to our ad real quick.
Gotcha.
Caleb, do you like candles?
Candles? I actually do.
Yeah.
There's two candles in my room right now.
Do you like your place of residence smelling good?
I do. I do. We have
Well,
two
shoot
cats
bop
in here.
bop a doo. Do I have the website for you?
Wow.
Morelife.co has handcrafted candles made from organic ingredients. Each candle is crafted with care, and golly gee, do they smell good. If you want your house to smell like lavender meadow or clean laundry, go to morelife.co and tell them Weisscast sent you for a 10% discount. That's morelife.co. Discount code Weisscast. Now, Caleb, take it away back to the list.
It's weird because I have a friend whose last name is Moore. I wonder if the company and my friend are connected
It
somehow.
might be.
My next game is again a bit of a cheat. It's actually quite the stretch, I think, but you said I could do it. So it's the Mass Effect trilogy, and my justification is that In high school, I bought all three in the same like binding of a box. They were on separate discs and they are separate games, but I think the Mass Effect, because it's like a cohesive story from beginning to end, that you almost have to think of it as a singular game. And I love like the kind of space odyssey, space opera, and I love RPGs, and so Mass Effect is just like it's very man, it's one of those like iconic game series for me. I played it at like, the height of like my like I played the most video games in high school by far, and that was a game at the center of it. Was I replayed Mass Effect at least twice. They're great, and allegedly they're gonna remaster it, which I'm super excited for, and they're also going to make a soft remake of Mass Effect One, which I think it needs. Um, I think Mass Effect One is it's hard to rank the Mass Effect games for me, but I think one is my favorite. But the gameplay, um, is definitely the roughest, and the it also looks the roughest by far, as far as because it might have been a launch title for Xbox. I'm not sure. Xbox 360, but it was very early Xbox 360 game.
It was not a launch title. However, when it came out, it was an exclusive. So BioWare made the game, and Xbox or Microsoft published it, and then BioWare was bought by EA,
Hmm.
and then they retained the rights to Mass Effect, and that's how they were able to bring it to PlayStation.
Yeah, I knew that because the only way you could have because I had a PS3 and a 360, and for some reason I wanted the games on PS3, not 360, and the only way you can get Mass Effect One on PlayStation 3 was if you bought the like trilogy collection box set, and so that's what I bought because I wanted to play all three. So they're great games. Some of the characters are still like some of my favorite like game characters ever. So awesome. I mean, I
hmm
most of the games I play are have some like role play element to them. So it's great. So what's your next pick on this desert island?
Um, my next pick. It's actually kind of shocking to me that I didn't pick a game that's similar to it. But it's Spider-Man PS4. I love this game so much, and in a lot of ways, it's very similar to the Arkham series. Um, However, the thing that put it over the Arkham series for me is just the world traversal. It is so much fun swinging around New York as Spider-Man, and there's a lot to do. The story's not super long, but there's enough side missions and side things to collect to get a lot of enjoyment. Um, and it's a fun game. There was a little bit of oddity with it recently, Caleb. I don't know if you saw this, but like they recast the literally just the
Yeah,
face
I did hear about that because
of
like
Peter Parker.
they wanted him to look more like Tom Holland or something, which I guess makes sense in a way, but it's also kind of like
hmm
he's already been he like I don't know. It's one of those things like changing the original, like how they changed the original Star Wars movies. It's like this already been made. I really think like once something is like created, like you really shouldn't go back and change it.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and so I didn't realize this, but the Peter Parker that you see in game is different than the one you're hearing. The voice actor is different than the body actor. And that's strange to me in the first place. But I mean, now they just changed the body actor, but they kept the voice actor the same. The voice or the body actor is way different. He's way younger, I should say, than the original one, and he doesn't look like a seasoned Peter
I
Parker
haven't
like he's
played the
supposed to look
PS4
like.
Spider-Man, but isn't he supposed to be like late college or post college Peter Parker? He's been Peter Parker for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
in game he's 23.
Yeah. I actually considered.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about maybe buying a PS4 very soon, just so I can play. Because I know they're gonna go drop in price once PS5 comes out, and so I can play like God of War and Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Um, so
Hmm.
because I Spider-Man I think is one of my favorite superheroes. He's just it's interesting because
Hmm.
yeah,
He's my
and
favorite
so
Marvel
many
hero.
other heroes like he changed so much about the comic book genre that like I mean Marvel Marvel was big before Spider-Man, but like Marvel is what it is today in large part because of Spider-Man. So and
Hmm.
Spider-Verse is like one of the best superhero movies ever. Also one of the best anime movies. No,
Of all time.
it's like I think it's legit one of the best anime movies ever. So I love it. And the Spider Verse suit and Miles Morales looks amazing. It's like perfect. So
Hmm.
cool. My
What's your
next
next
pick
pick?
is Breath of the Wild. I
You sly
man,
dog.
so I've wanted to Switch since it came out in large part because of Breath of the Wild. And I think it was February this year that I got a Switch, and one of the first games I bought was Breath of the Wild, and um, man, it's so much fun, and I love how almost like minimalist it is because you can just go and explore, and like there are large times where like I only have a mission active, I'm like trying to do something, I'm just like out exploring, and that I think it's amazing that they've like managed to make a game with so much with like so little direction about how to get it all, and they still like you're still wanting to get it all because like I feel like so many open world games now are like they hit you with constant quests so you see everything, but Breath of the Wild is just like they want you to see everything by natural exploration, not like a force like go find
Hmm.
this. Um,
And there are side quests, but you have to like actually go find
yeah,
them,
I
which is
think that's cool
nice.
because like it's so such a deep game. Like there's so many small details, and like I haven't played it in a couple weeks because it's a game I play like I'll play it for a week or two, and then I won't play it for a month or two. Um, but like recently, I've been trying to go back and find all of the like the memories, um, which is like it's actually like it's fun for how difficult it can be to find all of them. Because yeah, you get like you can go and get the hints from the painter man, but it's still you have to go find them. It's not like an icon on your map. It's like a vague direction. You have to just search for it. So we could probably have a whole podcast about Breath of the Wild. This is not the Breath of the Wild.
We definitely could.
This is the.
This is not Breathcast. Um, my next pick is also on PS4, just like my last pick. Uncharted 4. I love the Uncharted series. Some of my favorite games. And Uncharted 4 is the magnum opus of the Uncharted series. It is the top tier Uncharted experience. A lot of people say Uncharted 2 will. It is, and no, I just don't think Uncharted 2 has as compelling as a story. Uncharted 4 is the story of the brothers Drake, Sam Drake and Nathan Drake, and it's so good. Expertly acted by Nolan North and Troy Baker. Two of the biggest names in video game voice acting. It's a gorgeous game. I can't say enough about it. It's so good. If you haven't played it, I recommend it highly. When you get your PS4, Caleb. Um, I recommend all the Uncharted games, but Uncharted 1, control wise, doesn't hold up as much as the other games do. So maybe just start with 2 and then go through 4. Uncharted 1 just makes you fall in love with the characters, but 2 through 4 are the actual like good games.
I think when we lived together, first I played the first one, and
Hmm.
um, I started playing the second one, but I don't think I finished it. But I
Right.
just remember um, I just remember being so shocked. Like I was playing in the caves, and like the zombie things show up. I
Hmm.
was like so surprised. Like that was a cool moment because like I hadn't even considered like there wasn't that kind of elements in the game yet. But
Hmm.
it was. I do remember like I think my perception of Uncharted games was that they were mostly like puzzle games and exploration, not as much fighting. But it was like at least the first one had a lot of gunplay, which was like
Yeah, the first one is more of like a third person shooter. It borrowed heavily from Gears of War. It's a cover based third person shooter. But as the series went on, they put up more of an emphasis on the puzzle nature, the storytelling, and less emphasis on the action.
so maybe I will play
I think.
them. Um, it's one of those games that like I had a PS3, and I think like I wanted to play them, but there was just never like I never felt like they were cheap enough for me to buy, or I never had money when they were at GameStop, so I just
Hmm.
never picked them up.
So I borrowed the first 2 from a friend and beat them really quick, and then the third one I actually rented in Redbox and beat it in a weekend.
Wow,
Back in the
Redbox
old
game.
PS3 days.
I know. I know. Like I miss old GameStop. I want to get on a rant about GameStop, and I know we've talked a lot about GameStop, but I miss old GameStop when you could come in and like they may not have the game you want, but they had enough games for cheap that it's probably something that you wanted. And now I walk in and there's games, but like even games that are 3 or 4 years old are still like 40, $50. Um, especially like there's no cheap games on Switch at GameStop. And I think that's frustrating because like I just got into Switch this year and I have like 3 games. because all of them are like $50 or more. So I don't know. I think part that is like the huge rise in digital sales. But I like to have actual like I like to have the game cartridge and case and everything. And they've had a supplement. Is that the word? Yeah. They've had to sell a lot of non-game stuff because of the
hmm
rise of digital sales. Um, which is kind of like I don't know. I feel like GameStop is going to become a more niche thing because um, people aren't buying physical games anymore, and I think it's going to become more of a collector's thing, or it's going to go under. I don't know.
It'll probably go under TBH.
Yeah. So, yep.
Caleb, I think that brings us to our top 3 each.
Wow. Am I going next? Or you going next?
It's you.
Okay, it's me.
hmm
So one of my favorite series ever is the Arkham games, and this was a hard choice because I love all three for different reasons. Which I think is like a key for a great series is that each game is feels different enough. Like I think Asylum has the best story. Um, I think City does everything the best, but I think as far as like content and fun to play, I'm gonna have to choose Arkham Knight because I just got done playing it through that game again, and it just I forgot how long of a game it is and how much stuff there is to do, which is fun, but also as far as like playing it was kind of like I want to finish this game. It got to be a little bit too long. But man, I think that game really hits like the feeling like Batman. Feel like that is the most like Batman feels to play. Because
hmm
Arkham City is still my favorite. But replaying Arkham City, like it doesn't feel clunky, but it is not as smooth as Arkham Knight. I don't know what it is.
It didn't age that well, TBH.
Yeah, which is surprising because I remember it being like I remember it came out, it was like the perfect game to me.
hmm
I think I'll always like Arkham City more because of that initial like play experience. But like the graphics are not as good as I remember them being. Um, and like which I'm not graphics is like very low on my like importance list. But also like the gameplay, the feel of it didn't age as well as I remember it being as well. Which that was surprising to me.
hmm
So Arkham Knight.
My next pick is a game that I've bought 1, 2, 5 times. It's a game that I put multiple hundred hours in over the 5 places that I've bought it, and that is The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim.
I was gonna guess this.
Incredible game. This is the game that burnt me out for all other action RPGs. Um, most other action RPGs, I should say. It's so fun being able to become the Dragonborn and um, just explore that beautiful world of Skyrim is amazing. It has some of the best side quests in any game. Um, I'd say that the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood side quests are better than the main quest. Um, I don't think that's a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people agree with that. Um, its DLC is very fun. I I play the crap out of this game. It's so good, Caleb. I love Skyrim. I remember the first time I saw the trailer, the announcement trailer for Skyrim. I was I was in chemistry class um, in 10th grade, and uh, at my school we all had laptops. They gave us laptops for, well, I say gave us, it was like included in our tuition. And uh, I was sitting next to my friend, and he was like, "Yo, did you see the new Skyrim or the new Elder Scrolls wasn't just announced?" And I was like, "Whoa!" And so we watched the trailer right there, and oh my gosh, was I blown away. At this point, it was like 2 years out from launch, and I was counting down the days, Caleb. I was counting down the days, and um, sure enough, November 11th, 2011 came, and I'd had it pre-ordered for months. As soon as pre-orders opened, I went to GameStop and put the $5 down, because you can secure pre-order with $5. It's a beautiful, and every time I would go into GameStop after that, I would just put $5 more down and had it paid off before picking it up. And I don't know if you can do this anymore, but in those days, you could have someone else pick up the game for you as long as you like left their name. And at the time, my brother was living with us again. He um, After college, he had to live with us again for a little bit, which is pretty standard. But that's also the same day that the Metal Gear Solid HD collection came out, and he was interested in that. So he had that pre-ordered, and he picked up both games for us. And around 1 p.m., I get a text from him saying the package is secure, and that's all I could think about the rest of the day at school. I was in like my my sixth period class or something like that, and I stopped paying attention. I was just thinking about how much fun Skyrim was going to be. Then I went to my seventh period class, and I unexpectedly had a substitute teacher, and apparently my teacher had gone home with a migraine. And so I had this unexpected substitute teacher. We weren't going to do anything except for have study hall. And I was sitting there trying to think of a way that I could go home and play Skyrim early before any of my friends. And it dawned on me, just get up and tell the truth. So I got up. I went to this super old substitute teacher, and I was like, "Look, I can't concentrate on anything right now. A new video game, a once in a lifetime video game just came out. It's at my house right now. Can I go home early?" And sure enough, Caleb, she let me go 30 minutes early, and oh my gosh, I put 40 hours on Skyrim that weekend, Caleb. 40 hours, and I didn't touch it again for 6 months.
I so for some reason, like, I just get my PlayStation. Um, I was like kind of late getting into that generation of games. I think I just got my
Mm.
PlayStation when Skyrim came out. But I remember I was very aware of the day it came out. 'Cause I remember like several of my friends didn't come to school, and like it was like talked about nonstop. And I was like, dang, I gotta get this game. Um, and I remember the first night I got it, I I stayed up to like at least 2 a.m. playing it, and
Mhm.
it is one of the most iconic games. I mean, it's amazing. There's still a huge like a very large like group of people that play it very regularly. And a lot of that is due to mods, but like it's such an iconic game, and even now games are compared to Skyrim. Um, and that was a game like I tried really hard to put on this list. I still might take something off because it's such
Mhm.
a man. It's Skyrim is a great game, and it's
Oh, let me tell you more about that first weekend, Caleb. So I got home. approximately 2:40 p.m. I didn't live that far from my school. So I got home, you know, put the game in my PS3, had to install it or whatever, and pretty decently quick install. My brother was already playing Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, and my parents were out of town that weekend, so we felt like we could just play all weekend, and we did. And Caleb, let me tell you, um, we played for probably 6 hours straight, and then we were like, we've been staring at a TV too long. We need to go out and do something. And so that night, Caleb, we went to go see Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Matt Reeves Batman coming out soon.
Thank you.
Um, and we got back from that movie. We probably got back at like midnight or so. And boy, let me tell you, we just went right back to playing video games.
I do
It was
remember.
very fun. It's some of my fondest memories.
I remember. Um, I played like I was very into Skyrim for a long time. I remember like when I bought it and started playing it, like I was already looking into like the unique weapons and finding all the unique weapons and doing research of where stuff was, and like I got very deep into the lore at one point too. I have a similar story with like Mass Effect. I remember I played a demo of Mass Effect 2 and was like very like I want to get this game. But the first game wasn't on PlayStation. And so then I had like around the time I tried the demo, they announced the trilogy and they're gonna port the first one to um, PS3. So I remember waiting like anxiously to get it. And I remember the first day or like the first weeks I had it to play, my um, I got home from school around 4, and my parents were like out that night, and I was still playing when they came back at like 9 or so. And my mom was like, "Caleb, have you been playing video games this whole time?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Caleb, you can't play video games anymore. Like you've been playing too long." And that was like so like heartbreaking to me because I was just like, I remember like just walking around the house pacing because I was like, I just wanted to play Mass Effect, and my mom wouldn't let me, and it was tough.
What's your top two?
So this next one is also a bit of a stretch because it is a collection that came out only like a few weeks ago. So I think one of the most underrated like game developers is Arcane. They are owned by Bethesda, which I guess is now owned by Microsoft, and they've made like Dishonored and Prey, and they have this game coming up called Deathloop. And so, yeah, not like Prey like to God, but Prey as in like attack Prey. Imagine a game where it's just like about praying. That'd be interesting. But they came out. They just had like the 25th anniversary, I think, and so they came out with a collection of their more recent games. And so this is called the Arcane Collection, and it has Dishonored 1 and 2, and also has the like it's basically a small game, but there's supposed to be an expansion for Dishonored 2. It's called Death of the Outsider. And they also have Prey and the like Moon, like Prey Moon something. I don't know. I haven't played that one, but it's Prey but on the moon. And I love arcane games because the stories aren't usually like super, but like they do like level design and gameplay. I think the best like in the industry. Like they they have some of the best level design and gameplay of like um any developer out there. So Arcane Collection, 4 games, 1 box. Sounds good time to me. I'm actually playing Dishonored 2 again right now, and it's a lot of fun.
You know, I actually haven't played Dishonored 2. I like Dishonored 1. Never played 2. And you know, Caleb, I'm not super into stealth games, but Dishonored 1 really caught my eye and it was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to Deathloop. Because it's
Dude,
taking some elements from Dishonored and just like making a completely different type of game. And it looks so fun. I'm sad that it's a timed exclusive for PS5. Um,
mhm.
However, Caleb, I am looking forward to it coming to Xbox, and I hope
Oh,
I hope I have the new Xbox by the time it does come out. Um, I'm not planning on getting it. You know, I'm not planning on getting the Xbox anytime like soon. I'm thinking about getting it with my tax return, but that's you know depending on whether I can actually justify it or not. Um,
yeah.
my number 2 pick is not a collection because I'm not a cheater, and it is a game that I'm sure I told you about when I started playing it, Bug Fables.
You told me about that one. It's like a turn-based RPG kind of.
Kind of. It's Mario. It's like Paper Mario. So it's another Mario RPG esque game. This is the spiritual successor to Mario or Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, or as it's known on Reddit, Door Game. It is very fun, well written, great music. Um, I mean, incredible side quests. Like I haven't been like this obsessed with a game like Bug Fables since probably since Door Game, Caleb. It's so fun. You know, for whatever reason, Nintendo decided to stop making traditional Paper Mario games and started to whatever they're doing now. And you know that'd be okay if they were still creating Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga games, but they're not. They're not even doing those. So this is the closest thing to a Nintendo RPG, um, or like that we'll get. It's super good. I got it on Switch. It's on sale a lot on Switch. I recommend picking it up if you ever see it. Um, it's also on Steam. It's on Xbox. It's on PlayStation. It's anywhere you get video games.
Yeah. I have to
I
look
highly
into it.
recommend it.
I have to look into it because I do want like more games on my Switch. Because I love the Switch. I think it's such a great console. Um, but like I said, like I feel like I don't have a lot of games for it because the online store is. I don't think they have as much sales as like Xbox store does, and like GameStop. Like if they have a Switch game, it's like almost like the price for a new one. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
I
that.
recommend checking out their sales on digital. They update the sale list every week, every Friday, and you can usually find some gems there. Um, I also am like you. Specifically for Switch, I prefer having um, physical, but
Yeah,
Bug Fables did not get a physical release.
yeah, yeah. I remember I with the Mario All Star Collection, I like tried really hard to get the actual physical one,
Hmm.
and luckily I did. But I had to wait for them to make more of the physical one because I had to. It was like 2 3 weeks after a release that I finally got it because
Hmm.
I had to have a physical one. So does that bring us to my number one pick?
It brings us to the number 1 pick.
Wow. Well, if you know anything about me, and if you know anything about my video game tastes, like my basically all-time favorite video game is Fallout New Vegas. So I would be remiss if I did not have this game. It is, I think it just blends like the perfect amount of like like deep RPG and narrative, but also has it can be kind of silly and wacky sometimes, but not too much so. Like in Borderlands, this is a perfect amount like sprinkling of some humor in there, and it's just I love the idea of just like the Western kind of like apocalypse. Um, Man, I love the game. The writing's great. The DLC is great because um, it adds a lot into the narrative of the main game. It's just like a 10 out of 10 to me. I know like the visuals have not aged well, but the visuals for me are bottom of the list. The gunplay isn't great either, but I think it really makes up and just story and like I love um, how like I love how all the skills work together and building your character. It's just yeah, I love it. So
My number one pick is a game that we've already talked a lot about, actually. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Um, I love this game so much, and like I said, we've already talked about it ad nauseum, but it it's so good, and it deserves to be on both of our lists.
oh yeah,
Um, and honestly, I couldn't imagine picking any other game. Comma, like you, love Fallout New Vegas, and with the facts that Microsoft owns both Obsidian and Bethesda now,
oh yeah,
the prospect of a New Vegas 2 really gets me going. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Um, I have
Because
not been able to give Obsidian's newer game, The Outer Worlds, the time that it needs, and that's because, as I've talked about, I'm burnt out on action RPGs like that. But Breath of the Wild is an open world game with RPG elements,
yeah,
and it's it it's so exploration heavy, it's so discovery heavy that it does not feel like Skyrim. It does not feel like any other game. I love it so much. I wish that I could say that I've replayed it a bunch. I really haven't. I beat it once, and I do go back to it every once in a while to just do some of the side quests. But it's so good. It's so
yeah,
good. It's one of those games that I put well over 100 hours on, um,
yeah.
and I
Breath of
never
the,
want to lose the save for it.
yeah. I think Scott the Waz said something about how like Breath of the Wild is really like that first experience is like everything. Like
Hmm.
I haven't beat the game to like go back and play it, but I get what he's saying. Like discovering everything the first time is like I think over half of why the game is so amazing. Like
Hmm.
figuring out the physics engines and like all the shrines and just discovering things for yourself is it's a very like it's an amazing experience. I think I wish
I
more
agree.
games would like put exploration in the hands of the player and not force it by giving you quests and missions.
Hmm.
Doing it the way Breath of the Wild does it is harder for sure, but it's more worthwhile. What were we gonna
I
say, Aaron?
agree. I don't remember. I might have was about to do our outro, Caleb. Um, Folks, this has been Wisecast, the list episode. Let us know what November should be. I'm already thinking, and I'm going to put this on the poll for next month. Caleb, I'm thinking a Thanksgiving food tier list.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. Maybe old
Megan gives that thumbs up. So
maybe old Megsy can be on that episode.
Whoa.
I, of course, folks, am your host, Aaron Weiss. You can find me on the Tweeters and Instagrams at The Weiss is Right. Follow Weisscast on Instagram at Weisscast. If you have any suggestions for possible list, email me at aaron@weisscast.com. You can also be a part of the show if you would like to be on patreon.com/Weisscast, where you get the shows earlier, uncut, and ad-free. Folks, we really appreciate your support. Caleb, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram as Killer Peeler. I do have a Twitter. I haven't touched it in years, but I'm also on YouTube. And I have not posted anything in 5 months. But I do have a video I've been meaning to upload for 3 months. I just keep on forgetting to do that. So
Excellent stuff.
cool.
I have an outro song for us, ladies and gentlemen, and that is a trap remix of Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Double Dash. We hope you enjoy it. Thanks for coming out. I have been Aaron Weiss. We'll keep it easy until next week. Peace.
Peace.